Hello and welcome to the Third and Long podcast, the only podcast for NFL punters. I'm your host, Grant Lee. Third and Long is brought to you by Little Birdie TV, topsport.com.au, Punting Form, and the home of stand-up comedy, The Comics Lounge. So what an amazing, crazy week we had in the NFL, and now it's time to introduce Nick Tedeschi, my BFF, pro punter, and the master behind his tips package to the house. Welcome, Toprope. How are you, buddy?
Well, I'm up and about. Christmas week. Recording a day early, which is nice. I've got a hellish day of travel tomorrow, so good to be able to talk some football with you. 3 weeks of the regular season to go. So,
Toprope, we have an early Christmas present. I want to welcome live from downtown Miami, Florida, my compadre and our NFL tipping machine with his package, the shoebox. Welcome, Mr. Jerry Jones. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, guys. I can't wait for this weekend to come around. I'm actually headed to the Dolphins game on Christmas Day. So we'll see what happens there. Dolphins, Packers, and I have a play on it too. So that's good.
On Christmas Day, I'll be on the road with 3 kids in a really hot car, mate. So, yeah, I'm living the dream.
It's supposed to be freezing here in Miami. Like, it's going to get down to like 48 degrees Fahrenheit. I know that people laugh when they say freezing with that, but that's as cold as it gets in Miami.
I'm telling you, mate. And also, too, boys, you must have not got the memo from management because none of you have your Christmas hats on. So, boys, not in the Christmas spirit, I tell you. But I tell you the spirit we are in, mate. Week 15, we saw 12 of 15 games decided by one score. All 15 games were decided by 11 or less points. Can you explain the crazy week we just had in the NFL, Jerry?
I mean, I guess it ties into what we've been talking about all year with these low totals. I mean, if the games are going to be lower scoring, they're going to be closer games. I mean, it's just all, I mean, about 2 years ago, I mean, all these, you'd see like 4 games lined in the 50s and 0 in the 30s. I know there's a lot of weather issues this week, but there's like 7 games under 40. That just doesn't happen anymore. So lower totals, lower scores, closer games. I mean, they're kind of correlated.
So the Tennessee Titans continue to falter after dropping their 4th straight game in a row to the Chargers. Is it time to hit the panic button in Tennessee, Toprope?
No. Look, there's some concerns. I think I've had some roster concerns all year. I've never been overly high. I think they'll probably overachieve during that winning streak. You know, I think they've just got to ride it out from here on in. They've got a very smart coach. He kind of gets the most out of what he's got. And, yeah, so with the Titans, I'd be, not overly confident, but I don't know that it's, panic stations either. They're just going to get back to, it's one of those really good teams that play really well when they're in front. When they get behind, they can just offer nothing.
So the Atlanta Falcons dropped their third convincing game, losing to the Saints. Desmond Ridder was very uninspiring in his debut, completing 13 of 26 passes for 97 yards. He also took 4 sacks. Are the NFC South titles hoping? Are they fading here for the Falcons, Jerry?
I mean, I don't know if you can use the word fading. They were never really there. They're a bad team. They're just in a bad division. If they were any other division, we wouldn't even be talking about this. But I don't think they ever really had. It was smoke and mirrors, bad division. 4-win teams are still battling it out for the division title. I think Ridder, it had to be done. Even if they do make the playoffs, what are they going to do? They'll be a one and done anyway. So you had to see what you got in Ridder. Mariota, he started okay. Pitts is hurt. London is in and out of the lineup. They're playing for the future, and Ritter's the future. So might as well get him in there now and see what you got. And if you back into the division title, so be it.
So it was a pretty sad day in my household, boys. I've got to tell you, the Cowboys blew a 17-point lead in the third quarter. Trevor Lawrence was outstanding, 3 touchdown passes in the second half. Does the Jags upset over the Cowboys keep pressure on the Titans in the AFC South race? Toprope.
Yeah, look, it does. And everything seems to have clicked with Trevor Lawrence over the last month, 6 weeks. Doug Pearson, I think we kind of talked about this year, it was probably the right coach for him. It's all kind of starting to mesh together right now. And to be honest, you the win is no doubt going to help. The win lead is no doubt going to help the Titans, but the Jags are coming home like a steam train at the moment, and of course we've got that big Thursday game at the Jets. If they get the win on that one, there could be all level by the end of the week.
So the Chiefs looked really unimpressive while clinching their 7th AFC West title. Are the Chiefs the real deal, Jerry?
Yeah, they're the real deal. I mean, the Cowboys should have lost to the Texans the week before, and so the Texans have become a little feisty here, covering spreads but not winning. KC, they had an off day. Mahomes, he rallied them. The defense came through in overtime. There's nothing to worry about with them. It's clearly KC and Buffalo, with Cincinnati right there too. I guess 1, 2, and 3, and it all depends on who gets the home field, who gets that first round bye. It's a real big deal this year because there's no real pushovers in the AFC. So it's not really who the best team is. I just say whoever has that bye is going to represent the Super Bowl.
So I could fully understand it if you boys changed the channel for the Colts-Vikings game before halftime. And if you did, the Vikings had a miraculous comeback. Does this put another blemish on the belt for poor old Matt Ryan?
Yeah, look, it's not been the most graceful of fades for Matt Ryan. He's hardly the only one to blame with that shocking fade out. The defense did concede 36 points in the second half. So, it was a brutal loss, and to be honest, could have been done earlier had the referees not kind of pulled some dodgy calls. But greatest comeback in NFL history, which is quite not only astonishing. It's quite astonishing given, like Jerry said earlier, we were in a week with 7 totals below 40. We're in a year where low scoring unders games have dominated to record the biggest comeback of all time. It must have been one hell of a halftime speech. The Vikings.
They'll make a Hollywood movie out of it. I tell you, they love that stuff in Hollywood. But so since the Ravens have lost Lamar Jackson in Week 13, they have only scored 29 points. They haven't had a passing touchdown. 2 of those scores have been rushing touchdowns. Do the Ravens need to get Lamar back to have a shot to win the AFC North title, Jerry?
100%. They cannot do anything without Lamar Jackson. He famously came into this year under contract negotiations, and he shut it down because he didn't have a contract before the first game. He rolled the dice kind of like an Aaron Judge type deal, and he was playing well. But I tell you what, he probably earned more money on the games that he missed than he did on the games he's playing, because they can't do anything without him. You just mentioned the stats, and he'll get his big contract. They need him. I thought he was almost ready to go last week, so I think they're kind of just coasting around, but they will not do anything without a healthy Lamar Jackson.
So the LA Rams have officially been eliminated from playoff contention, and in the very first show that we did when MG was on, we said that one of our big tips of the year were the Rams that were not going to make the playoffs, and we did cop a little bit of hate on social media. So how the mighty have fallen. Where did it all go wrong, Toprope?
Yeah, plenty of injuries certainly haven't helped, but you often see this with teams who are maybe say used to success. They have that big winning year, that breakthrough, then there's that kind of notable regression next year. That's been exacerbated by a lack of depth. That's not surprising, given that they've traded away their entire draft for the last 4 or 5 years. Injuries at Stafford certainly hasn't helped, but they've had plenty of injuries on both sides of the ball. So, tough year, forgettable year for the Rams. But I don't think that'll be a knock on them for next year. They're probably not a team built for long-term success, but they're certainly not a team that's kind of built to be as bad as they are either.
So we all saw the end of the Raiders and Patriots game. It was one of the craziest things I have ever seen. I just and as a football player myself, you are taught, take a knee. If the game's tied, just take it to overtime. If you are down, I understand the lateral and all that sort of stuff, but the game was tied. Boys, just take a knee. But Should the New England Patriots reunite with Tom Brady or Jimmy G, Jerry?
No. What they should do is get rid of these idiots, Patricia and Judge. I mean, Belichick, who is the genius and the coach, best coach ever, I don't know what he's doing. He didn't name an offensive coordinator to start the season, and it's showing. I mean, Patricia is a joke. He was a horrible coach over in Detroit. He's a defensive guy. He's got him calling the plays. Him and Judge are whatever you want to call it. It's just, and again, I'm not saying that because of that play. It's been the whole year that it's been a nightmare. But what just happened was Ramondre Stevens is just running and he decides to flip the ball back. Jacoby Myers is completely caught off guard. That's not the play call. He just got the ball and he was like, oh, so we're doing this? And he just threw it backwards. Like, there's no way it was set. It just, instincts took over and he was like, crap, maybe we're losing. I don't know. But that was wild. But it's just a comedy of errors with that team, when they can't score points, they can't move the ball. Mac Jones is yelling at the sidelines. It's just a nightmare. And their defense is keeping them in it, so they're still hanging around.
So thank you for that, gentlemen. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back to take it to the house. Welcome back. And now it's time to take it to the house. Brought to you by topsport.com.au. Family owned and operated for 35 years. Bet with a bookie you can trust. Bet with topsport.com.au. So here's the moment, mate. It's a bookie wrap. Put your hat on backwards, mate, and get it going, pal. Let us know how we went for week 15.
Yeah, it was one of those weeks where the favourites win, but there wasn't a lot of covering involved. 12 of the 16 favourites won. Only 6 covered the line. That it was 8-8 with the totals last week. Home teams went 9-16. Seeing the favourites edge up to that 70% mark, you'd expect one at 64% this year, but covering is 45%. It's been a year for underdog punters. Over's making a little bit of a comeback over the last few weeks with totals so low. But we are 55% for the unders this year, and we are set for the lowest total, I think, in 14 years this week. 32 points, Saints at Brown. So expecting some windy, snowy conditions there. And home teams 54%.
So management let me know, Toprope, that I'm not allowed to use tip pungs anymore. So we're going to use a different word, selections. So apparently, Toprope, you woke up the other morning with a massive selection, mate. So what were they?
I woke up with a massive selection, but it wasn't all that fulfilling. Went 2 of 5, lost 3.2 units last week. 41, 32 and 1 for the year, plus 19.87 units at 8.26%. We started well on the Saturday US time, Sunday Australian time. Baltimore Browns under 37 points, total 16 points, never in danger there. Cowboys -4, looking very good for a long time. Went horribly awry, but Trevor Lawrence comeback there. The Steelers-Panthers, that was a brutal beat, under 38.5. Carolina did the right thing at the end of the game and took a field goal when they were down by 10, so that set to 40 points. So that one looked like it was going to cruise to the under. Cincinnati, Tampa Bay, 44, never got close, 57, and the Giants, Washington, saved by some interesting Jerry Saucy, some questionable refereeing at the end, but we'll take it.
So, Jerry, open up your shoebox for us, pal, and how did you go for week 15?
I had a perfect week. I didn't lose anything. We pushed the Chargers. I think it was 3-0 with a push. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a good week. You can't really ask for much more than that. Chargers probably should have done better. I would have loved the 4-0 sweep. They blew it in regulation, but then they won it with a great throw from Herbert on the sidelines to win by 3. So we'll take it. I mean, the Jaguars total, never in doubt. Browns was close, but another reason. I mean, the Colts Vikings, I mean, what they score 70. So we won both totals by like 30 points. Browns, Chargers could have done better, but whatever. You can't complain about a 3-0 week. Never can.
So Santa is definitely bringing us presents early. I tell you, we are lucky enough here in Australia again to get 10 matches. So, boys, let's jump straight into match number 1, Seattle at Kansas City, Sunday, 5 a.m. ESPN. The line is Chiefs -10. Wow. And the total is 49. So, boys, the Seahawks have lost 3 of 4 games since bye week, and the defense has allowed 28.5 points per match in that stretch. The Chiefs are just 4-10 this year with just 1 cover at home. What say you, Toprope?
Yeah, no bet going here from me. Don't like this one at all. Seattle have faded pretty badly, failed to cover their last 5, but the Chiefs, they're a team that's so overrated by the market that they've just become a complete non-cover team. Their last 7 games, they have failed to cover a single time. They haven't covered any of the last 7 at home. They've covered 1 of their last 12 for win. I'm having a bet here, probably the under. The under's 11-4 when Seattle take on a winning team. Did 4 straight Chiefs games at home, so probably lean towards the under, but no confidence this game.
Cheers, thank you, mate. Let's jump straight into match number 2. We have the New York Football Giants at Minnesota Sunday, 5 a.m. ESPN. The line is Vikings -4. The total is 48. So the Giants are still on the NFC wildcard mix, and they really need a win to stay in that race. New York is 3-2 straight up on the road this season. Minnesota, however, is 7-1 straight up at home. So Kirk Cousins has 15 touchdowns and just 4 interceptions in those games. So where's the play on this one, Jerry?
I don't know why I don't have this one on my card, but I like the Giants a lot here. Just the pure fact that Minnie's coming off the biggest comeback in the history of the NFL. It's got to be a letdown game. I don't think they can catch Philly for the number 1. They don't really have a lot to play for, even though it's still 3 games left. I think this is a spot for the Giants. You saw Thibodeau, the rookie first rounder, had a monster game against Washington. I think he'll terrorize Kirk Cousins and get him into some mistakes. I think the Giants will probably win this game outright. Minnesota, I don't know how incentivized they are to play other than, just to pad that record, but I like the Giants and the points here.
Beautiful. Thank you, mate. So match number 3, we have Cincinnati at New England Sunday, 5 a.m. ESPN. Oh, sorry. No, that's on 7, mate, and ESPN apparently. The line is Bengals -3, and the total is 41.5. So, look, the Bengals are in top form with 6 straight victories, and the defense has allowed just 88.3 rushing yards per game in that stretch. How will the Patriots get to Joe Burrow? That is the big question, who has had 14 touchdowns and just 4 interceptions in that winning streak. Who are we backing in this one, Toprope?
Yeah, my favourite betting game of the week. Betting the Bengals with a good degree of confidence and absolutely steaming into the under on this one. Look, Joe Burrow is from a betting point of view, the best quarterback to be on in the NFL. They've covered 35 of the last 52, the Bengals. They've covered 16 of the last 21 off a win, 35 of the last 52 on the road. So, confidence in Cincinnati, but absolutely love the under here. Some non-team specific unders here that really have me excited. 88, 60, and 2, and the total is less than 40. We're not there yet, but we certainly could be heading that way. The under is 56, 27, and 3, and there's a road favourite this year. 90, 71, and 5, and there's a home underdog of 3 or more in a non-division game. Bengals gone under in 14 of 19. Give me the under in this one. Absolutely love it.
Beautiful. So, Toprope, this will be the one that'll be on in your household for sure. Match number 4, Washington at San Francisco, Sunday, 8:05 a.m. on 7, mate. The line is 49ers -7.5, and the total is 38.5. So, look, the 49ers have had some extra time to prepare for Washington, and the offense will continue to evolve with our main man, Mr. Brock Purdy. The better story for San Francisco is that they have not allowed any more than 275 yards in a game through the last 7 wins. So, I don't know, Jerry, who have you got in this one?
Not with huge confidence, but again, low total. I got to take the points. Brock Purdy, he's doing well. I haven't seen him under too much pressure. Game situation has had them with the leads, and their defense is just amazing. I don't know, if Washington to put together 17 points, which is asking a lot against that defense. But I don't see Purdy putting up over 24. So give me the 7 in a low total, and I'll take my chances against a rookie quarterback. Washington pretty much just don't get shut out, and I'm in the game.
So match number 5, Philadelphia at Dallas, Sunday, 8:25 a.m. ESPN. The line, Cowboys -5. The total is 47 points. Boys, the Cowboys have won the last 4 meetings at home against the Eagles. How does the Cowboys bounce back after the dreadful loss to Jacksonville and a very poor performance the week before against the Texans? Philadelphia will face Dak Prescott this time around instead of Cooper Rush. And there's rumour, boys, Jalen Hurts is very questionable. So are the Cowboys the easy pick here, Toprope?
Yeah, betting suggests Jalen Hurts won't be playing sprained shoulder by reports. One move from 1.5 to jump up to 6 pretty quickly. So I'm going to suggest Hurts is not going to play this week. The Eagles, already covered one of those 5 on the road. Gardner Minshew is a very good backup, but I'd rather be with Dallas here laying the points. They've covered 8 or 10 division games, 5 straight of allowing 30 plus, 5 straight for the loss. So they could bounce that team. They play Philadelphia well. Probably the best bet in the game, lean towards the over, both in pretty strong over situations. Eagles 7-1 over for win. Dallas have been gone over in their last 4 at home. So lean towards the over here, and the line is trending northwards as well.
Amazing. So let's head straight into match number 6. Las Vegas at Pittsburgh, Sunday, 12:15 p.m. ESPN. The line, Steelers -2.5, and the total is 39 points. So here's one for you, Jerry. Pittsburgh will celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. You remember that game, the legendary 13-7 victory against the Raiders. This comes off the week that we saw the Raiders won that incredible win at the end against the Patriots. So just a weird little nerd fact right there. The Steelers have won 3 of their last 4 games, and they have given up 17 points or less in that stretch. So what do you think about this one, Jerry?
Similar to that Viking play, again, should be a letdown. That was a miracle last week. Never should have won that game. Had no business winning that game. Well, let me rephrase that. They could have won the game. No business winning it in the fashion that they did. And at home, huge celebration. Still talking about it 5 days later. Give me the Steelers at home -2.5. Pickett should play, and I just feel the home field should be enough for them, -2.5. Night game in Pittsburgh. I just think that they're about even. Give me the home team. Give me the team that's not coming off of an emotional high, so to speak. So I like Pittsburgh here.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jerry. Let's head straight into match number 7, Green Bay at Miami, Monday, 5 a.m. ESPN. The line, Dolphins -4, and the total is 49.5. So listen, the Packers are hanging on by a thread trying to get in the playoffs. I don't think it's going to be that easy against the Dolphins, who are now on a 3-game losing streak. But all 3 games that they did lose, they lost to Super Bowl contenders. Where's the love on this one, Toprope?
Yeah, Jerry's off to the game. I hope he's cheering on the local boys, the Dolphins. 13-4 against the spread. The Dolphins off allowing 30 plus, 28 against the spread at home. I've got absolutely no faith in the Packers. They got away with that win against the Rams. I thought they were poor for much of that game. Covered just 3 of their last 10 on the road, 1 off 5 for win. I'll be on Miami -4.
So match number 8 with Denver at LA Rams, Monday, 8:30 a.m. ESPN. The line, Broncos -2.5, and the total is 36.5. So, Jerry, you might have to help me with this one, mate. So, is it Brett Rippon? Rippon. He's the son of or nephew of Mark Rippon, the old Washington. He's related somehow to the old Skins quarterback that was a Super Bowl, but it's definitely Rippon. And it doesn't matter what his last name is here. They should beat the Rams. The Rams are terrible. They have that Baker Mayfield, 2-minute stretch where they beat the Raiders. Other than that, they've been absolutely abysmal. I think they had 150 yards against the Packers, and they were close to that before the final
2 touchdown drives against the Raiders the week before. Broncos have a good defense. They can run the ball. They should have enough to walk out of that field, that game with a victory.
Beautiful. So match number 9, Tampa at Arizona, Monday, 12:20 p.m. ESPN. The line is Bucks minus 7.5. The total is 39.5. So Tampa Bay have lost 3 of the last 4 games, and they have lost the last 4 road games. So, look, this isn't a layup against Arizona, who are dreadful at the moment. They're averaging 15.5 points in their last 4 losses. Tom Brady really needs to play better. Where's the love on this one, Toprope?
Oh, the love will be at the remote control to switch the channel to something else. This is awful game. Absolutely no way I could take the Bucks laying at any points on the road. They've covered just 1 of their last 12. Have failed to cover their last 5 against a losing team. Lean towards the Cardinals, but happy to have any faith. And then covered 5-7 off a cover. The bet I'd probably be most keen to have in this game would be the under. Under with a road favourite has been big this year. Under with a non-division road favourite, a field goal more, even stronger. Tampa Bay, a big under team, gone over 10 of their last 14. Leaning towards the under.
So, Borko, it's time to cue up the Monday night theme, mate. We have hit match number 10, LA Chargers at Indianapolis, Tuesday, 12:15 p.m. ESPN. The line is Chargers minus 4, and the total is 46 points. So, listen, boys, the Colts blew a 33-point lead last week. Indianapolis is 3-2 against the spread under Saturday, but those 2 losses were at home. So the Chargers are heating up, and they've got, gun receivers. Allen and Williams, they're averaging over 170 yards passing in the last 2 weeks. What do you think about this one, Jerry?
Yeah, another game that I don't know why I didn't put on my package, but everything's fluid there. I love the Chargers here. You failed to mention, I don't know if you do know this or not, but Matt Ryan got benched again, the second time of the year. But this time they're going to Nick Foles, who is even worse, if you can imagine, than Matt Ryan. I wish they would have went back to Ellinger. He's the future. Nick Foles, he had that one run in December where he took the Eagles to the Super Bowl. And yes, he'll never have to pay for anything ever again in Philly. But other than that, he's been an atrocious quarterback. Look at his starts over at the Bears. Justin Herbert's on fire. Like you said, getting those receivers back. I mean, Williams and Allen, he didn't play with them for most of the year. They're able to run the ball. They're able to pass the ball. And the Colts are just an abomination. I mean, another letdown. Saturday, his little experiment, he's got no shot at getting this job next year. And Nick Foles, Matt Ryan, neither one of them will be in the league next year.
Amazing insight, boys. And thank you once again for everything. And ladies and gentlemen, head to Little Birdie Live and head to the Little Birdie shop. You'll find the boys' packages in there. They're $22 a week. As you've seen, the boys know everything there is to know about NFL, and you would be crazy not to jump on their tips. So $22 a week. And look, if you're serious about being an NFL punter or you just want to show off to all your mates, just head to the house. So speaking of markets, they're Toprope. How is the MVP race looking?
Yes, I can't recall an MVP race bouncing around so much this late in the year, but the top of betting. Mahomes is very, very short now following the injury to Jalen Hurts. Probably some chance he misses the rest of the regular season, so that's certainly no good for his chances. Josh Allen's been out the back door. He was favoured probably a month or 6 weeks back, and Joe Burrow continues to shorten. So I don't think Burrow's in the mix. I think if Mahomes just keeps doing what he's doing, he won't be. He's most certainly the Chiefs' offense is hardly, a well-oiled machine at the moment. So I think a couple of big performances from anyone in the top 4, and I'll throw themselves right in the mix for this. I certainly don't recall being as confused about MVP chances this late in the year as we are this year.
So this is the moment, boys, where we get into our charity tips. And for the first 6 weeks, I was riding very high and very happy to get this part going because I was sort of torching you guys, and now I'm on the bottom of the ladder. So we'll get through it, boys. But we are granted every week $100 by our sponsor at topsport.com.au. And boys, take us to the tips, Top Rope. How did you go last week?
I was on the under in the Bengals Bucks. Somehow late said that would just stop and we'd backdoor that, but no, ended up with 7 points. Wasn't close in the end.
And we see you've got a win there, Jerry.
Yeah, I got the Browns -3. Again, it was closer than it should have been. They let them off the hook a little bit, but a win is a win. Browns -3, never really in doubt. Yeah.
So for all our radio listeners out there, I took the Cowboys -4, and it was quite embarrassing by myself and them. So for everyone playing at home, Toprope is leading. He's 9-6. Jerry is 8-7. And ladies and gentlemen, I have fallen under 500. I am 7-8. And I tell you, I'm going to do something, boys, that I've never done before as a massive Cowboy fan. I'm taking the Eagles this week against the Cowboys, +5.5. What say you, Toprope? Who you got?
I'm going the under in the Bengals game again. I'm going the under 41.5 in the Bengals Patriots.
And yourself there, Jerry?
Well, this is kind of tilted because I'm going to the game. I know Top Rope doesn't agree with me here, but the Packers are playing for their lives here. Got an extreme outside chance. I think about a 10, 12% chance to make it. In order to make it, they have to win this game. I think their defense will do enough to keep Tua off balance. And I think give me Rodgers over a field goal, and I'm going to take it. So slanted because I'm going, but still like to play.
We officially have a bet off, ladies and gentlemen. So let's head into our ankle breakers competition for week 15. Trent got it again there, my friend. He picked the Giants by 4. Congratulations, mate, and keep on going. So for everyone else, our match this week is Tampa Bay at Arizona Monday, 12:20 p.m. on ESPN. Guys, we should all know how to enter by now, but it's pretty simple. You basically just pick your team and who you think is going to win and what the margin is. So if you ask me, I would say the Buccaneers by 69 points. So just pop that on your socials, and make sure you put it on our socials as well at Little Birdie TV and at Third and Long TV as well. And to qualify, tag as many people as you know and get on in there, because there's a great prize at the end of it. So, boys, it's that moment where we sign off. That's a wrap for our 16th show of the year. And remember to hit the Little Birdie shop at littlebirdie.live. Subscribe to the tips packages by Jerry and Toprope. You've heard all the information they've given you today. These boys live it, breathe it, and love it. And they're the guys to do all the hard work for you. Be sure to follow us on YouTube. You can find us in the Apple Store, on Spotify, SoundCloud, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And also follow us on Twitter and Insta at Little Birdie TV, Third and Long TV. And remember, for all your NFL action, it can be found at topsport.com.au. Invest wisely, punters. And from all the Little Birdie family here, we'd like to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas. Hopefully Santa brings you everything that you've asked. I'm still waiting for my bike from when I was 12 years old. So still waiting, Santa. If you want to bring it, mate, you can. So take care, guys. Enjoy week 16, and we'll see you after Christmas.